Literally, as we hit record and we are doing the intro, breaking news came from Alpine. Mr. Oliver Oakes, who has been there since 2024, so long time,
Well
has
established.
well established, been there,
For Alpine, that is, though, isn't it? Let's
well,
be
yeah,
honest.
it's fair enough, yeah, yeah,
That's a
yeah.
veteran Alpine
You know,
employee.
there's just as many bodies in the Alpine graveyard as there are in the Red Bull Young Driver program. So, moving on, Oliver Oakes has resigned as team principal, has been accepted by the board with immediate effect, and guess what? Flavio
What?
Briatore has taken over as team principal.
Chakara.
Now,
Yeah.
there is a wee theory going on. I was doing a bit of the old left-handed googling,
Nice.
and
You don't want to know
the
what he was doing with his right hand.
uh, drinking a coffee, and we'll move on because we're on YouTube. Uh, the theory is that Oliver Oakes was batting for Jack Doohan to stay, and there was rumours actually the Race.com, BBC, and a few other kind of mainstream media people are saying that Jack Doohan is about to be replaced with Franco Colapinto. Not
Hmm.
confirmed. That is unsubstantiated. That's just kind of
Speculation.
so and so believes that this is about to happen. And so there's no coincidence if that is what's going to happen, and that Oliver Oakes is the main man behind Jack Doohan to keep him in the seat. And maybe the decision's been made already, and Oliver Oakes has stuck by his principles of like, well, do you know what? Catchy, can't work under this. I'm out.
Hmm.
And fair play if that happens, if that's what we kind of read between the lines, because I don't think Andy's going to come out and say, yeah, he left because he wants to keep him and Flavio wants him instead. It's pretty
Hmm.
easy to figure it out. So yeah,
And
Alpine
Flavio is
doing.
obviously a very controversial character, but he is the last time that the Renault, no, they're not Renault, but the Renault team has won any kind of championships. So, under their own marquee, obviously. Is it a good move? I think personally, although controversial, I do think he has, that relationship with obviously everyone throughout the grid. I think he's got that kind of knowledge of F1, knowledge of how to win championships. Obviously, upset for Oaks and whatnot, but it is what it is. That's the rotating Alpine kind of board that we've had over the last few years. No one's really kind of settled in too long. James, have you got an opinion on the Flav Oaks change?
Yeah, well, I think Flavio Briatore doesn't like to share power, so I think that was probably inevitable. Unfortunately, once he came back into the team, that he was
Absolutely.
going to eventually run it. I do think that I don't quite know what's going on with Alpine because, like you say, there's constant restructuring, constant change. I think this new ownership structure of about 400 sports athletes and other people and movie stars and things obviously doesn't quite seem to be working out. But I think it's clearly a power struggle. I wouldn't want to be in a power struggle with Flavio Briatore because I think he's going to he do whatever it takes to win. But I think it will, time will tell. Obviously, like you say, he was extremely successful with Benetton coming in, which is, I find it hilarious as he was a fashion executive that just got roped into being, the team they bought the team, and he's just now become one of the, premier team principals. So, and I think once Colapinto, they signed Colapinto, there was always going to be that conflict as well. And I
Yeah.
think, obviously, right, as Coop said, I think it was the Flavio was the Colapinto side and Doohan and Oaks the Doohan side. And Oaks sort of came in and not as a big name from was it high tech and F2 and probably a little bit like Doohan. His position was probably untenable, not untenable, shaky initially. So I don't see Flavio. I don't know if Flavio Briatore can turn it around. It's been a long time since he was a team principal, and there's clearly issues behind the scenes, not just Flavio Briatore, but I'd expect to hear Colin Pinto's in that seat tomorrow as well. So, um, yeah, it's all a bit of chaos. We love a bit of chaos. It's Formula One, isn't it? So it's always an entertaining storyline.
And do you have an opinion, Sean?
About
Of course you
Alpine,
do.
about Alpine, do I have an opinion about Alpine? My opinion about Alpine is they are an absolute joke and should not be in Formula One.
How
That's
do you
my.
really feel?
Um, I think a lot of people possibly thought that I might have softened after the Otmar Safnauer days. No, I mean, look, I'm not going to say I like Flavio Briatore. He's an interesting character. He's a cheating scumbag, but he's an interesting character.
His ban was overturned on appeal.
Not if Felipe Massa has anything to say about it. But this is not accidental timing, is it? Considering that Franco Colapinto's sponsors leaked 2 weeks ago that he's getting the drive in Imola, and he's obviously Briatore's man. I think anybody who thinks that the man from High Tech gave in his notice willingly has never heard of Flavio Briatore, and doesn't know how he could.
Could you imagine the phone call, Flavio to Oliver? Is that
Oliver?
You've resigned.
You have two options: either your car goes into a wall, or your resignation goes onto my desk.
No, I don't even think it was a question. It was you've resigned.
It's,
that's it.
Yeah.
2 words.
That is the Flavio Briatore school of managing Formula One teams. But is it a good thing?
I always thought he should. I always thought he should manage Ferrari. How fantastic would that be?
Yeah.
I'm
fantastic.
I'm a little bit surprised he came back to run a Formula One team and that he's not competing against Ben Sulayem, because you just know we need a new Max Mosley at the head of the FIA.
Actually, yes. Get Flavio as the direct. Yeah, get Flavio at the top of the FIA. Yeah. To be fair, I'm fully behind that.
I'm all on board for that. Think of how much swearing would be allowed in Formula One if that was the case.
It's mandatory. It's mandatory on the team radio to be swearing.
No, Alpine are an absolute joke. They're not even racing with their own engines from next year. Oliver Oakes, I feel a little bit bad for the guy. As you said, James, he was brought up from High Tech, and High Techs are an okay Formula 2 team, but they're a Formula 2 team, and they haven't won anything in Formula 2 other than the odd race, which in Formula 2 happens to everybody. So that's not even a particularly massive CV to go on to then jump up to manage a Formula 1 team with an immense amount of backing, which is weird. I'd love to know what Ryan Reynolds and all the celebrities who suddenly care about Formula One think about all of this. But
they probably love it.
Well, Alpine are a total joke, but it's going to be funnier now with Flavio's blue glasses every weekend. So
Yeah, so you heard it here first anyway. They will change at Alpine and with potential more changes on the horizon. Okay, brilliant stuff. That's all we've got time for this week.